Join us this week as we cover several hundred miles, pass through several states. It belongs to this limb.
Yeah, keep that away from me.
Couldn't do it. I can't mentally handle it. Do some last-minute moves to make our lives a little easier, but not before Cody catches his grill on fire. Woo, woo, call the fire department. Oh, I'm getting better and better at that. We have had a surprisingly hard time finding propane here in North Platte, or I say that. We've had a surprisingly difficult time in Nebraska, period. The Tractor Supply here doesn't have it. They don't offer propane, but there is a SAPP Brothers just a few minutes from our campground. SAPP Brothers, and then there's some propane, whatever, the rest of their name. They were super fast, super friendly. And what I found interesting is it's not a huge place, but they do like RVs on board. So if you have a Class A or something like that, they do have a drive that you can fit through there and get that taken care of.
You probably remember a while back where Angela found a road sign with her name on it and thought it was the greatest thing ever, right? Well, I've topped it. So before we jump into our video here in North Platte, Nebraska, just a really quick plug. If you guys haven't subscribed, please go ahead and do that. It helps us out a ton. If you like this video and others, make sure to give us a like. It does a lot for the algorithms, helps us get out there and really try to grow our brand a little bit, which is what our intention is to do here. If you're new here, we've been doing this for a little over 2 years now, so there's a ton of stuff in our archives. Check out our page if you have a rainy day and need to do some binge watching.
And get bored. I'm hoping nobody can tell how dirty my white shirt is. There is a reason why I don't wear white. It's because it turns out like this.
Well, looks soft material. This is a solid stage 3 rag. Once we cut all this lace off of it and the stitching, this is a solid stage 3 rag. It was new this morning.
Well, I'm gonna bleach it and see what I can do. We keep seeing these little white fluffy things flying through the air.
Oh, they're terrible.
I can't figure out what it is.
She's over there picking stuff up.
It belongs to this limb.
Yeah, keep that away from me.
That might be why you're sneezing.
I've been sneezing since I got here, and we're just gonna call this the sneeze episode because I'm gonna be sneezing for the rest of this video.
Eris tried to eat a rabbit that looked just like this. It's the craziest rabbit I've ever seen. Of course, I screamed loudly for the entire park to hear because I could not have another animal death on my hands. Couldn't do it. I can't mentally handle it. And then turns out we went to go check on that rabbit, just make sure it was okay. I don't think she heard it. It has babies hopping around here. I even had to save one from the mower.
The guy came out to mow and Angela's like out there stacking blocks of wood around where the rabbits are.
Oh, well, nobody wants to deal with it. And you can't see them. They're so little. And so I told him, and he's like, oh yeah. And he did. In fact, somebody pulled in for the night and had really tall grass next to them. It was my fault.
All in the name of saving the bunnies.
I'm on bunny patrol. Cody promised me a steak tonight.
And we still have some of those big, thick steaks we bought back in South Dakota. It's the last 2, so you better enjoy them because I haven't had steaks that good in a while.
And mashed taters, the weather's been beautiful. It's gonna be a good time. I got enough of a head start. I think my mashed potatoes will actually be done on time for you.
That never happens. You know, sometimes it's the little things in life. Generally, when I go to get this thing out, I realized that I got lazy last time around and forgot to clean it. And if you guys have pellet smokers, you know, especially these small ones, you really need to clean them and suck the dust out of them every time you use them because they will catch on fire. The bigger pellet smokers like my Traeger have a little deal that pops up that'll tell you when it's time to clean it. The smaller ones don't, so I just clean it every time. So my surprise for today was I cleaned this thing up really well the last time I used it. So all I got to do is throw the grease trap on and go. Whether you're a weekend warrior or a full-timer like we are, nothing beats a good cheap pair of channel locks you bought at Harbor Freight that you gave almost nothing for a ton of different things. Tightening water hose connections, fixing miscellaneous things, or just grabbing greasy grease traps and moving them around without having to get your hands dirty or wear gloves. Boom, save a pair of rubber gloves.
Call the fire department.
Steaks will be done a little quicker than expected.
You better not ruin my steak.
I'm not gonna ruin the steak. I might ruin the grill, but I'm not gonna ruin the steak.
You just cleaned that.
I just literally, before we left on our last trip, I took everything apart, cleaned everything really well.
Maybe, I guess we need to give it a little more of a scrub.
I scrubbed it. I took everything apart. I don't even know what's on fire right now.
Do you like how I said we? Did you give it a scrub?
Get me a plate though, because these things are getting hot.
You know what the problem is? You were bragging on it.
I tell you guys about how clean I had this thing before I left. I took the heat deflector out, scraped all the dried up chunks of burned grease and fat off of it, sucked all the ashes out, cleaned the grates. I mean, this thing was spotless.
I'm starting to think the grease was helping. Baking soda. If you ever catch something on fire, baking soda. I'm sure everyone knows that.
We're just trying out the sear cooking method.
Oh, charred or not, that was tasty.
The fatty parts had a little too much char for my taste, but the internals were 130. It was nice and pink on the inside. I'm really frustrated, actually, even though the steaks were good.
We're gonna floss and call it a night and watch one of these beautiful sunsets we've been watching.
Yep.
Ready to go for a ride? Nice.
Retract. Let's go.
We found out where we're headed.
Well,
we decided a couple hours ago.
Well, we know a general direction where we're headed. We still don't know where we're staying tonight. We know if we run all the way to our destination, it's about 700 miles, so we're not going to get there today. We'll probably do an overnight somewhere, maybe catch a campground, or maybe just park for free somewhere. We don't know. We're winging it.
We're just going to roll with life.
And the reason we're doing it this way, generally when we plan, we'll have kind of those big items, you know, like the trip to South Dakota or hitting a big RV show or a rally or something like that. And Angela always plans some gap weeks in between because stuff happens. And this week, stuff happened. We had planned on being down with my aunt because they're going to be doing some planting and doing some field work on their farm down in Oklahoma, but it's been raining, which means the tractors can't go in the field, so that's out. Looking down the road a couple of weeks, we've got some commitments in Indiana we want to be at. We got a couple of weeks to kill here, so we're gonna knock a good chunk off of that trip and find some cool stuff to do. Maybe even see some friends while we're down there.
Whether they like it or not.
It's a little bit breezy. It's not super windy, but it is a little bit breezy. Something I like to do when I'm going down the highway is I kind of look at the trees, or, you know, some states will have the wind socks over the bridges just to kind of know which way the wind's blowing when you're driving. So if it gets a little hairy, you can make adjustments and get pulled over and wait it out. But Should be a pretty easy drive day. I'd sure like to have some decent fuel mileage. That would be nice, but in the first 10 miles we're clocking 6.7, so might be an expensive travel day. I think I'm gonna lean my head back and take a nap. Do you want me to turn on music or a murder podcast for you?
Murder.
Murder it is.
One of the downfalls of a gas truck, really the only one that we found, is this. You're good, wide open. Come on back.
Okay, so I believe you will fit in one of our back-end sites. However, you won't be able to keep the truck connected. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. Is there a place to park in front of the trailer, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, you can still park at the site. You might just have to kind of park like a T.
Yeah, that's fine. We're just there for the night. How late are you guys there in the office to check in?
I am here until 8 o'clock tonight.
Oh, perfect. I think we can be there probably around 6:15 or so.
Oh, cool. I was going to say, if you get here after, I would just put an envelope for you in the laundry room. So you're going to get an email confirmation, and I will see you shortly.
See you soon. Thank you.
Uh-huh. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Nice.
So we have plans for tonight. We're in a little bit of a weird spot here for the night, and the only reason I say that is because we left at a reasonable time this morning, knowing we had about 700 miles to ride. We were thinking about doing an overnight somewhere, and it's going to be pretty warm tonight, and it's pretty warm today. The further south we go, I just checked the weather in Kansas City, and it's like 88 degrees. So yeah, I'm looking at it going, if we go to a truck stop, rest area, Cracker Barrel, something like that, we're going to be shutting down at like 5 or 6 o'clock tonight, and we're only going to be a couple hours away. So we're going to be stuck somewhere where we really can't put all of our slides out and get comfortable, not to mention we won't have air. And then tomorrow morning we're going to have to get up and twiddle our thumbs for 3 or 4 hours because we're early risers to kill time until our 2 o'clock check-in at our final destination. So we thought, let's just call a KOA down here outside of Kansas City and see if they have any open spots. They were full other than 2 spots.
In this case, your criteria of being 36 foot probably didn't show the site that she told you about.
Right, because she's got a 35-foot site, but it'll work with it because it's a fifth wheel and we can park in front of it.
So it's always worth just calling and asking.
We like to be comfortable. We like it to be easy. We do plenty of things that are cheap that aren't comfortable or easy, and we do lots of stuff to save money. So it's KOA again. Could we be more creative? Could we plan a little harder, work a little harder? Sure. We don't always do that. It's almost like the truck just feels better in the hills. We get a little better fuel mileage, and the truck just seems to chew them up. I don't get it.
That is a really weird road.
I really don't like it when roads go in the opposite directions.
Are we in England or what?
I don't like it. You know, that's just what you want to do after you drive 500 miles. It's drive in circles. And, you know, no big deal, I guess. Just drive 3 miles down and take exit 31 again, which is the same exit I just took. And there's KOA right there. Where is it? I want you to pull it up on Google. Driven enough. I don't need any more practice.
That's crazy. I know you didn't miss anything. I think we should turn right on that exit instead of left.
I think you're probably right.
I saw your GARMIN. I know you did what it
looked
said.
like it was going to take. I'm like, oh, it's just right over the bridge over here on the other side of TA. It made logical sense, but
I think he just likes to mess with our heads sometimes.
30 feet on the right to this arena.
They've both gone mad. Sad.
We're about to run up in the subdivision right here.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, watch out.
that
Oh, we're back on the interstate. Look at that. The truck has its own GPS chip because it's measuring your speed against other cars for the emergency brakes where it stops you without you having to do anything to keep you from rear-ending somebody and stuff, and the radar for the back and all that other stuff. But what I've been told is that when you plug your phone in, it's like they fight over which GPS it's going to go off of, I guess. And so it tries to override Google and it gets confused. But it's been like that since our 2020 expedition. and they still don't have it figured out. Turn left on Broadway.
Go home, Garmin, you're drunk.
Go home, Garmin.
Yeah, we're just waiting for the golf cart guide to come back and guide us in.
And you know, it's going to be a relatively easy setup tonight because I left this morning with, you know, 20 gallons or so of water thinking we'd do it overnight, so I'm not even going to hook a water hose up. But it is almost 90 degrees, so I'll be throwing out a power cord for some air conditioning, but other than that, there is no setup.
Oh, I want in on this. Is it just for kids? These mats have been with us for at least 2.5 years, maybe 3, in our Jayco, because we realized that this solid surface was getting scratched up so bad, so fast. And so we bought these, and there's all different sizes. They're not sticky, they're just like a silicone, but they do stick and don't move. So really we leave these on at all times, because right here we have a lot of traffic going on. I've got food cooking, we've got a coffee pot, we're mixing pre-workout drinks, we've got a lot of stuff going on here. So it kind of has protected this a little bit. Every once in a while I'll peel it up, clean underneath it, but really I don't have to do a whole lot. So these just stay at all times. They're worth it, they're pretty cheap. I'll put the link down below. I also do it with my dish drain on top of it so it doesn't scratch, but it's handy. Get it?
So we've landed at the KOA in Kansas City East. This is in Oak Grove, Missouri. I mean, it was nearly 500 miles. It's a pretty easy drive day. Threw the power cord out. I'm glad we decided not to do an overnight because it's nearly 90 degrees here at 7:15.
It's humid.
Yeah.
I'm starting to realize how unacclimated I am to the humidity.
We don't really plan our trips around the weather, but we kind of chased good weather this year, and now we're going to have to get acclimated to the heat because we're not going to be back in cold temperatures for a while.
The dogs are going to play with their toys that they apparently missed. Get it. Get that ball. He doesn't move that fast very often.
He's hot.
They're spoiled to air conditioner too. So I guess we'll finish this night out and see you in the morning.
We're sleeping in. It's a long day.
That's what he says. We'll see.
Well, that was a good overnight stop at the KOA here in Oak Grove.
That's a nice little campground.
I did mess up this morning and realize that we pulled in just, you know, on like a quarter of a tank last night, so I had to go get fuel at the last minute. But it also gave me a chance to get Angela
My breakfast salad.
a breakfast salad, and I may or may not have had a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich while I was pumping fuel.
Oh.
I mean, these overnights just kill us. You know, you stop and have a lunch, you know, you eat some snacks, you stop and have a lunch out, and the next thing you know, you're just loaded up with grease. But anyway, we're going to settle in here in just a few hours.
Thank you for spending your time with us. It means the world to us. You could be doing anything else, and we'll see you guys on the next one.
Bye, guys.
Oh man, that's a lot of pepper. Maybe you won't notice.
It's a dude. It's a guy. Yeah, the one on the far left is... Yeah, use that one. We don't plan our... I'm scratching my itches. We don't really plan our trips.